Oh my.
I said, how would that make my life better? And she's like, well, then when you look inside your room, you can see your beautiful room and it will look like a cake. Your bed will look like a cake.
Like something awful and vile. Maybe you better cut that out.
Because I want you to feel overwhelmed and realize, yeah, I can't do this all. And that's the point. Like, it is very overwhelming if you want to rehaul your entire life. So that's not what you're going to do. You're going to pick an area in your life that you feel is the most pressing, or maybe the thing that might be the easiest to rehaul, but have the biggest impact. I probably want to say this to somebody at least twice a week, but I just bite my tongue because who wants to be told you need more things to do?
It's hard stuff, and that, I mean, life is hard, and unfortunately we're not perfect and we make mistakes and we mess up big. But if we can grasp onto what we know a clean slate feels like, or what we know like true peace and forgiveness feels like, and rest in that peace, then we'll know when it's missing.
Prices will be increasing at the VoetbergMusicAcademy.com in April, but if you join today with our code Homemaker20, you can lock in your lessons for less than $30 a month.
Choose from one of our piano, fiddle, guitar, or ukulele courses and learn by yourself or as a family with Voetberg Music Academy's song-based by-ear method.
The unique Voetberg method is an all-in-one platform to propel your child's musical education.
From weekly instruction, performance opportunities, individualized live feedback, and community with thousands of other like-minded Christian families, Voetberg Music Academy makes learning music faster and easier than ever before.
With by-ear training and song-based learning, students see immediate results, and what makes it even better, they can earn visual reminders of their hard work with the Voetberg method's rank system that mails badges and rank pins right to your doorstep.
Use our code Homemaker20 to get 20% off every month your family is enrolled and learn music in a way that sticks for a lifetime.
Remember, if you sign up before the price increase, then you can lock in your membership for less than $30 a month. So I know some people think of their life as in kind of like themes. I have not seen you in a little bit. How's life been? Is there like a theme to it lately, or a couple of words to describe it in general?
It's been busy, which usually you don't hear that from me, but it's a lot of school stuff. I've been subbing in first grade this week, so it's been a very busy week so far. I leave with the boys and come home after the boys, actually, so that's definitely keeping me busy, but it's going really well.
But you're doing it for 5 days in a row?
Actually, just 4. She'll be back on Friday.
Do you feel like your house is going to like fall down around its ears in that time, or what do you do?
It'll be fine because no one's home during the day.
Oh, that's true.
So, and I have, 2 hours before dinner when I get home, and I have half an hour in the morning, so it'll be fine.
Gotcha. It's just kind of like everything's on pause, kind of. I mean, the dust might be building up, but
yeah,
you're not looking.
No, who sees it? No, I mean, it's just like I don't have time for anything else. Like, I don't want to go away in the evenings. This was an exception.
Yeah.
But I just want to stay home. I want to make sure we're getting to bed early because it's definitely wiped by the end of the day.
I was going to say, I remember when I was teaching, it is tiring.
It is. It is really exhausting. Like, there's just little people in your face all day, which I'm used to, but then when it's 22 of them instead of just 2.
Do you have any kids quotes, like any funny things they say to you?
Yeah.
What do they call you, first of all?
Mrs. Jana.
Okay.
If they can get all that out. Sometimes it's just like, Mrs. Jana or whatever.
Teacher.
Yeah. Usually not teacher. Sometimes I catch them being like Jana, and I usually just let it slide. But yeah, they're supposed to say Mrs. Jana. Though there was this one little girl, she went to Washington, D.C. on like a family thing this past weekend. And we were talking about loons, the bird loons. And I said that when I went to Canada, I heard lots of loons. And she's like, we drove through Canada when we went to Washington, D.C., I think. And I'm like, oh, I don't think you did. It was so cute. Like, I think she just wanted, maybe she saw a sign that reminded her, she thought it was Canada or something. I have no idea. But also, I think she just wanted to talk about her trip to Washington, D.C.
Yes, 100%. She wanted everybody to know.
Which is completely valid.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's so cute.
They're so cute.
Little kids have no concept of space or even like how time moves. It's really hard to explain it. I have a 3-year-old. I just got him a bunch of these are like really cute aesthetic laminated posters that have days of the week, months of the year, shapes, clocks, like maps, different stuff, the planets, things like that. I'm showing my 3-year-old Miller the U.S. There's Pennsylvania, here's Florida, and we're driving through downtown today, just like right down the road. He's like, this is Florida. I don't know what he saw. There was a picture of Pennsylvania, and then what was on it? Was it the Liberty Bell? I don't know. I think he saw a bell. There was like a credit union there with like a bell. And I think he thought that was a sign like we're in Florida. He said Florida, but like Pennsylvania was anyway, it was hilarious.
Maybe he meant Philadelphia.
He said Florida, and he said it every time we've gone through now. It's so funny. I'm like, this is not Florida. This is downtown or whatever. So funny. And then I was showing him the continents, and he's like, where's our house? And I'm like, it's the continents. It's like a little dot, whatever. And he just has no idea of the concept. It's so cute.
Yeah, that takes a little while to learn that. Like,
yeah. Or even like, I'll be like, we're going somewhere after Baylor's nap, and he just can't understand like how long it's going to be yet. And he just keeps asking every 20 minutes, are we leaving yet? You know?
I remember my boys used to think that when they woke up from their nap, it was a new day.
Yes.
And anything that happened before nap time was yesterday.
Yes.
I'm like, no, that was today. Nope, that was yesterday.
Yes. It's like they wake up and it's like starting all over again.
Yep, they
it's
have
like,
2 days in one.
Different than the morning. You know that, right? Like the sun is setting when you're waking up from your nap.
Not to them.
Oh, man. But yeah, anyway, why don't we get into today's episode? Do you have any enlightening ideas for bringing a little spark to the day? I will definitely say with spring coming and more spring-like weather, it's less dull for sure.
Yeah, I did think of something which is not related to spring at all, but a while ago, Eric got me one of those eye massagers, an eye mask massager that you put on your head. And
is it like really big, or is it like
it's
glasses? Is it a strap?
It's pretty big. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like goggles kind of that goes over and it straps around, and it feels so good. And they're a bit of an investment, $30, $50, I don't know. But if you have any sort of like, I know the flu is going around like crazy. If you have like sinus pressure or anything, it helps
in your
so much.
Eyeballs.
Well, like, yeah, like in your temples. It massages your temples, and like it's heat. It feels so good. So either get one, or if you have one, take the time to use it. Like, I have one in my drawer, and I think, oh man, that would feel really good right now, but it's not charged. Or I'm like, oh, then I have to like close my eyes for 20 minutes. But like, or even if you don't have one, lay down and close your eyes for 20 minutes. Like, take the time to rest. And if you have like, maybe you have a foot massager, use it. Like, use the things that you have.
Oh my goodness, I was so cold the other day, and I'm like, I always made fun of those little foot spa things. Like, they're so 2010 or whatever, you know. Everybody had a foot spa back when I was getting married, and like, I never had one. And I was like, man, I could use one right now. I am so cold. My feet hurt. I just want to like sit there and work on my laptop and have my feet in a foot massager, or foot like, soak, like a spa.
Even one of those rice hot packs, like if you have cramps or a bellyache or something, it feels so good. But the time it's such like a mental drag. Oh, I don't feel like doing it. But if you would actually take the 2 steps and do it, it would be worth it, I think.
I think we must have both been sick recently, because mine are even less romantic than yours, or even less bougie. And that is lotion Kleenexes, like the Kleenex with the lotion in. Is there any other kind after you tried that, right? And like, I have down here the warm bean bag. Basically the concept of, we have things to pamper ourselves, and just, do we ever use them?
Exactly.
Do we know where they're at? Mm-hmm. Are they organized? Are they like, put your things that are there to spoil you or pamper you in an easy to reach, easy to remember where it is spot, so that when you aren't feeling great, you know, right there it is, ready to go. But yeah, when I get the lotion tissues, the kids use them like so fast. And I'm like, okay, we need to have some Kleenex etiquette here. But
yeah, my kids are ridiculous with Kleenex. They blow like once, throw it. I'm like, no, you can blow 6 more times on that tissue.
6.
Well, the way they blow.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We go through so many tissues.
Yeah. Well, today we thought we would talk about not just like cleaning. We're a homemaking podcast, not necessarily a cleaning podcast.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, my word. But we're going to be spring cleaning our lives here. And I think, Jana, you brought this topic up a while back about when really is the new year, like naturally.
Oh, yeah, that whole conspiracy thing. Apparently, the months are out of order. Because how was that? October means 8, so that should be the 8th month, right? And all the November means 9. It should be the 9th month. They're out of order.
December
is 10. It should be the 10th month. So somewhere we gained an extra month or lost an extra month. Which one is it?
Well, it'd be 2 months.
2 months. I forget. And it has something to do with Julius Caesar and Augustus, right? Because July and August were added, something to do with the Romans. I have no idea. Please do not fact check me. However, the point was that the beginning of the year is actually supposed to be in the spring.
Like March 1? Like March, is that one?
I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, that would make sense.
Or February 1st. Like, is February the first month?
I don't know. See, I should look into this more. But basically, like, someone decided they wanted to screw with our biological clocks and changed it to make us miserable. And it's working, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
So technically, if you didn't do any New Year's resolutions, now's the time. We're in March here. Spring is right around the corner. First day of spring. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. But yeah, so we're talking about spring cleaning our lives, resetting, all those things. So this is a good little pep talk for you. Maybe we'll be a little bossy today, put a little pep in your step for if you need some motivation because you have a lot of things that you need to get done in your life. But also at the same time, we're not going to be here to intimidate you or anything either.
No, you should see my house.
Yeah, that's what we've at least you've explained your position in life this week, and yeah. I was just sick, so you can only imagine.
We are so excited to announce that Wild Deodorant is partnering with us on today's episode. Wild's products contain no single-use plastic and come in premium reusable cases with compostable refills.
Wild Deodorant is plant-powered and uses premium natural ingredients and are paraben and phthalate-free. I like also that Wild Deodorant is not wasteful. They have the unique plastic-free compostable refills, and the containers that you put the refills into are just so cute.
That's right, there's so many cases you can choose from, and right now they have this adorable bee case that you guys can check out. And remember, these you can choose and pick for a lifetime if you want, because they are aluminum and you can just keep reordering the compostable refills in so many different scents. They have 14 different refill scents, with many also insensitive. The best part is Wild's products don't compromise on effectiveness and keep you fresh for 24 hours. I love Wild Deodorant's creamy texture that you get from the shea butter they use in their formula. I use Wild for over a year now, and I'd recommend it to all of my friends and family. And right now, I'm gonna recommend them to you guys, and to give you the code Honey I'm Homemaker will get you 20% off of your first purchase with Wild. When you go to wearewild.com, do not forget to use the code Honey I'm Homemaker to get 20% off of all of their products.
So when I think of spring cleaning, the best part of spring cleaning is, of course, when it's over and everything is fresh, the curtains are washed, the floor is clean. You know there's not dust bunnies under the bed anymore. The sheets are washed, the bed's freshly made, the drawers are all closed, the dressers are all wiped out underneath. There's no hair and dust bunnies hanging from the bottom.
There's a fresh breeze blowing through the curtains.
Yes. Oh. And you sit on your bed and you're just like, this is what it's all about. If you've never felt it, which I'm sure you have, there's just nothing like that feeling of a fresh, cleaned out room. Now, allow me to get a little Sunday school teacher-ish on you and spiritualize that for a minute. Did you ever have something weighing on your heart? Like you knew you messed up and you needed to confess, or you hurt someone and you needed to go and apologize, or you did something wrong. There was some trash in your heart, or just some, you know what I mean. You're being convicted. You're feeling guilty. And isn't it the best feeling in the world when you take care of that issue and your conscience is clear and you're right before God, you're right before your husband or your friends or whoever you may have been in conflict with, and it's just taken care of? And I think it's a little bit of the same feeling, that feeling of being cleansed, of being made new, renewed. And my encouragement to you as a Sunday school teacher is don't wait. Like, life is too short. Don't wait. Get your heart clean. And we know that true forgiveness and cleaning can only come by the blood of Jesus Christ. And so don't wait. He is there. He is ready to forgive you. And there is nothing like that feeling of being made new and renewed and cleaned. I don't know if this applies or if it's taking things out of context, but that feeling, it only lasts, like when you clean, the dust bunnies come back, right? And I think that's also a lesson in life. Yes, you are redeemed and Jesus forgives you like once and for all. But life is a process, and sanctification is a process. And, you know, you can make one day, you can ask for forgiveness and all your sins are wiped clean. But like, we're human, so we're going to go on the next day and mess up again. And you can get that feeling back, like where the dust bunnies are clogging everything up, or you just feel a little rotten again. And it doesn't mean that you weren't saved or you're not saved. It just means maybe you have a little more work to do. You have a little bit more growing to do. So don't let it be discouraging, but just keep in mind that feeling of when everything is clean, and learn to know what that feels like so that you know when it's not feeling like that, and then you know what to do about it.
Yeah, I know, but then it's like it might require you laying down your pride, or
Yeah.
there's actually some work involved, right? Like there is.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard stuff, and that, I mean, life is hard, and unfortunately we're not perfect, and we make mistakes and we mess up big. But if we can grasp onto what we know a clean slate feels like, or what we know like true peace and forgiveness feels like, and rest in that peace, then we'll know when it's missing, and we'll know I need that back. Like if you know what it feels like, you don't want to live without it. So when something's wrong, you'll know. But if you never experience that true peace, then you might not know.
You're just like in a chronic state of
Yeah.
needing the mop and
Like
bucket
if you
or whatever.
never cleaned your room, like if you never cleaned it up and it was just like rancid, like can you imagine? Like you wouldn't know what it felt like.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
when you do it one time, and you're never gonna want to let it get to that place again.
The contrast is where it becomes obvious.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of different areas that you can spring clean your life. Jana's just touched on one of them. Of course, we're going to talk about actual cleaning, but I did find an article that says the 31-day spring clean your life challenge. And I just was like, this strikes me interesting. I'm going to just scroll through this here. And I wasn't really looking for the specifics. I just wanted to see what areas and topics they were cleaning. So we have recommendations to clean up your exercise routine, clean up your diet, clean up your, it's giving specifics like junk drawers and showers and pantries. It's talking about detoxing from social media, reevaluate charges that are recurring on your bank statements. We need to get Rocket Money to sponsor, because that will show you for sure. Creating systems like meal planning and things like that, starting, basically like you would think of a new year, but this is the springtime, so it's even more fresh and exciting kind of. And I feel like our energy is just naturally higher when the weather's warm and you're outdoors more and stuff. Donate clothing, practice journaling, clean out your contacts, digital declutters. It's just so many different things on here that you really could jump into any of them. And I guess the reason I'm going through all these is just because I want you to feel overwhelmed and realize, I can't do this all. And that's the point. Like, it is very overwhelming if you want to rehaul your entire life. So that's not what you're going to do. You're going to pick an area in your life that you feel is the most pressing, or maybe the thing that might be the easiest to rehaul but have the biggest impact. So I don't know what that's going to be for you or for your family. Maybe there's something that would impact your children. I think sometimes it's good to have a little self-reflection. I'm actually currently, this is kind of raw, I am currently thinking about what that can mean for me. My friends are meeting in 2 days in the evening, and we're going to have a discussion as we drive we're going to a fancy terrain. It's like a fancy, I think there's terrains in different parts of the country, but it's like a really beautiful supper spot or like dining area, shopping experience, all of that. Kind of like a little Magnolia, would you say, almost?
I don't know that I've ever been there.
Okay. Well, we're going to eat in a little hut, and it's going to be expensive and yummy and good.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah. So my friends were having a discussion on not detoxing. They were having a discussion on social media and boundaries they want to set and things like that. And basically, they're going to set up an accountability group for each other. And I'm not sure what all their different little goals and stuff are. And a lot of this did not apply to me, because I should be on social media more, probably. I just don't have time for it. Like, it's kind of work for me. We'll get into that another time. It's just a little bit different when you're a content creator and stuff. But I was thinking, wow, even if I don't have this specific problem in my life that they do, how can I harness that accountability? That's a beautiful thing to have, and motivation and somebody checking in on you. Like, what in my life? So I still don't know the answer. I asked Ivani what it should be, and she said, well, maybe you should make your bed every morning.
Oh my.
I said, how would that make my life better? And she's like, well, then when you look inside your room, you can see your beautiful room, and it will look like a cake. Your bed will look like a cake. Yeah, like decorating a cake. I've used that analogy before, so she heard it from me. Anyway, I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, yes, it would not hurt me to make my bed every morning.
Just dig a little deeper, though.
I'm like, maybe something a little more like tough. I don't know. So I'm not sure. I have to ask Josh yet. I haven't asked him yet, because I have a feeling he'll have a couple of things he could list off.
Yeah.
So having accountability from somebody is a powerful thing. So I encourage you. You can't do all these things. Pick something. And if you feel like you're going to need a little motivation and accountability, find somebody who also might want to set a goal with you and see if you can do it together. I mean, community makes everything better, right?
It sure does. It really does. There's something about just knowing that you're not the only one that has that problem. whatever the problem may be.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of cleaning, whenever I think of cleaning, specifically Febreze or Simple Green, it was Simple Green, I think. I just have these, if I smell that, it puts me right back into my childhood bedroom. I don't know how old I was. Maybe, like, old enough. Like, maybe 12. Like, maybe me and my sister were 10 and 12. Maybe 8 and 10. But I think more like 10 and 12. So, I was mad at my sister. My sister and I used to fight like crazy. We were stereotypical best enemies. Like, we hated each other one day. But then, if anyone else was mean to the other one, we had each other's back. Sometimes. But, yeah, we fought like crazy. And we get along now, for the most part. So I was really, really mad at her. I don't have no clue what she did to me, but I was furious. And I guess I had been eating a banana, which kind of surprises me because I don't really think I liked bananas. Maybe I just saw one on the counter. I got a banana, and I wrapped it in paper towel. It was kind of rotten, like it was starting to go bad. I wrapped it in paper towel, and I wrote some vicious threat on the paper towel. Something about this is what you're gonna look like when I'm done with you, or something. Like something awful and vile. Maybe you better cut that out.
That's pretty creative.
It was very nasty. And I put it under her pillow. Forgot about it. A couple days later, I think did she find it or did we smell it? I don't remember. Or I remembered and I was like, hey, did you ever find that little present I left you under your pillow? And she's like, what? And we looked, and it was this black, rotten mass. Like, it was nasty. It had, like, soaked into the mattress pad, onto the mattress. It was nasty. And I'm like, don't tell mom, don't tell mom, don't tell mom. I'll help you clean it up. I'll help you clean it up. And for some reason, she was on board with this. Like, why she didn't just run and tattle, I have no idea. But I convinced her. Like, you couldn't even see the vile threat that I had written on it anymore. Like, it was all just, like, mold, like, just, like, rotten banana mess.
Sounds awful.
And she's like, the other night I thought I had eaten a banana before bed, and I was like, man, my breath just really smells like banana. So she had slept on this all night, smelling it, and didn't know where it was coming from.
Oh my
I felt so bad, and also afraid of getting in trouble because that was kind of naughty. So we started cleaning. I remember we didn't want mom to know. So like at this point now, it's just a challenge, right? So we are scrubbing. We are spraying Simple Green, trying to get this stain. Our main concern was a stain on the mattress. So we're spraying Simple Green, trying to get this stain out. We washed her sheet in the sink, I guess, the bathroom sink, and then we hung it out the window to dry because we couldn't let mom see. And I honestly don't think she ever found out until we were adults. Like, we covered our tracks. We got it cleaned good enough that she never noticed. But anyway, so cleaning products, especially Simple Green, always takes me back to that childhood memory.
Wow.
That's the story.
That's crazy. It makes me wonder what things will happen under my nose that, like...
Yeah, for real.
I think I'm pretty smart, but I'm not looking for a rotten banana under my kid's pillow.
Maybe she knew and just, played dumb. It's like, they're quiet up there. I'm not gonna, they're cleaning. I ain't interrupting. I don't know.
Sometimes the fear is punishment enough.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so speaking of cleaning, do you think you need to declutter first or clean as you go and declutter as... I know there's kind of somewhat of a debate, but I think different areas are probably different.
Like, if I'm cleaning out my closet, I'm going to clean and declutter at the same time. If I'm cleaning out a dresser drawer, I'm not necessarily going to clean the room while I'm cleaning out the dresser drawer. So I do think it's a separate procedure, but they do sometimes intertangle.
Yeah, well, if you want to live your life in kind of like, not a schedule, like a circuit kind of, I don't know. The way I do it is I think of like January, February as like decluttering season, and then springtime more as like the cleaning outdoor season. You know, I kind of have like cycles I go through. And so I try to have most of my decluttering done by the time I actually want to go clean.
Yeah.
And we grew up with like her traditional spring cleaning. Like you tackle a room, you move all the furniture, you know, that's how I was. And like mom would just pick a room and do a new room every day pretty much until they were all done. I have not actually done that since we moved to this big house. I will just like a room will drive me nuts and then I'll do that room. And it might be July. It might be, you don't know what it is.
That's kind of how I am too. I don't have a schedule.
Yeah. So it's a little different than how I was raised. But you know, spring cleaning was what every good housewife did back in the day.
And fall. They did it twice a year.
My mom didn't.
I'd say I'm lucky if our bedrooms get cleaned once a year. They probably do once a year. But then I don't necessarily ever house clean my living room. Like I move the furniture sometimes.
Something will bother
Or
you,
like
and then
you
just do
you
it.
just take care of it. But I guess I also don't decorate the way my mom did. Like I don't have bookshelves full of trinkets that I take everything off. Like, but every now and then I'll clean out our bookshelf, take all the books off and throw away the ones that get rid of some and put them back. But I do it more in sections, I guess. But over Christmas break, I had a goal to get both of the boys' bedrooms decluttered and clean. They each have their own room and they were nasty. So we got them both done. We actually moved the furniture around in both of their rooms. Do you remember that feeling?
Oh, that was always so fun.
Yeah,
disorienting. You'd wake up in the morning and you'd be like looking at the wrong part of the ceiling.
I?
Yeah, it's magical.
Yeah. So that was really fun for them. And we got rid of a ton of stuff, which is one of my most favorite things in the whole world, is throwing things away.
It's addictive for sure.
Yeah, much to my husband's dismay. The boys don't care that much. Like, they're not nearly as pack ratish as their dad. Like, I can convince them to throw things away pretty easily. By just saying, well, then find a spot for it. Okay, fine, just throw it away.
Yes. Just a little housekeeping. I see a lot more of you guys are finding us over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which is exciting. That's great. Could you guys leave a review if you're the reviewing type of person? I know it's a pain in the butt, but I have to at least ask. Also, did you know that we're on YouTube? If you like to have visuals to go along with your podcast, we're on YouTube. You can also get the visuals on Spotify as well, I believe. So we're really an immersive experience. But also, one last thing. I don't know if you're familiar with how podcasts grow. There's a couple ways they can. People can find us in search, but it is really hard to understand what a podcast is about just by that little tiny square. And I would just encourage you, if you have a homemaker in your life that might not know about the podcast, just shoot them the link. You can just tap the little button and share it. And yeah, we can spread the word about the podcast that way. And not every podcast is for every person, and that is completely fine. But I just know there's people out there that would love to know about it. You know, when you find something new and you're like, this was around? Now I have to binge things. Like, I missed it or whatever. You know, it happens with me sometimes on YouTube or wherever. I'll find a creator and I'll be like, oh, I have to catch up. How did I not know this existed? You know, so just a little plug in for sharing the podcast if you have the time. Another thing that you can streamline is maybe your schedule if you feel like you're really busy. I know some people like to do errand running loop. I don't know if it's necessarily very mom friendly to do an errand running day where you're literally getting the kids in and out of their car seats over and over and over again. It's not my preference, but I know some people like to do that. Also, think about your evening routines. I feel like they can really set up your life for good or for bad. And that's one thing I do not have. Like, my evenings look so different every time. And somehow I find myself there in bed and okay, the day's over. But that's something I would like to, that's a goal of mine coming up here. Like, I don't know how an evening's supposed to look. I often have too much built into my day that I don't get it all done. So I'm doing it in the evenings.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? When I was home all day, every day, do you think I could get a load of washed, dried, folded, and put away in one day? Nah. I'll leave it set till the next day and put away. I have all day to do it tomorrow. But now that I work almost full, I'm working 4 days a week, I get my wash, dried, folded, and put away in the same day, almost all the time. How does that work? Like, how am I able to do so much more in so much less time?
Oh, I've saying this all the time. I want to say this, I probably want to say this to somebody at least twice a week, but I just bite my tongue because who wants to be told you need more things to do? You need more work or whatever. But yes, like, even like the social media thing, it might not be a problem if you actually had enough to do on your plate, or if you
get a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's amazing. Your task will fill the time you allot to it. And I mean, here we sit in my office that's ready to be spring cleaned. It definitely needs it. I pretty much do my housework in a 2-hour block in the morning. And then projects and stuff doesn't count. But like, I do my 1 load of laundry every day. I do my dishes, all those things. Like, I have a 2-hour block that I try to just like bust my chops and get a lot of things done. And it's like, I know some people do those exact amount of chores all day long, and they're still not done when their kids go down for naps, and then they do it. It's not like, oh wow, I'm just so fast at it. It's just that I kind of have to be. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe they're like a lot more persnickety about it or something. Maybe they
I don't know what the difference is.
Like, my mom will load her, like, she never did this when I was at home, but she will load her dishwasher. Like, it has the little grooves. She uses the pull-out thing, and she puts a fork, the next fork, the next fork. They're all just like nesting each other so nicely. Maybe you do this. I'm not making fun of you, but like, when I was at home, it was slopping. Actually, we didn't even have a dishwasher.
We didn't have a dishwasher.
I think I was actually out of the house.
I was.
But like, when my little sisters were at home, yeah, it was just like put it in the silverware thing
Yeah.
and they got clean. Either way, they're getting clean.
Yeah.
But like, you know, so maybe you do need something else on your plate if things are just, you just can't get anything done. You might be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a homeschool co-op lady who called me and asked if I would teach their music curriculum. And I'm like, you're asking the wrong person. But like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that, you know, I'm sure there's lots of people that are saying, oh, no, they can't because they just feel like it takes all day for them to do their work to begin with. It's like maybe if you had something else on your plate, you realize how time efficient you really could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't mean to entirely change the subject. I was saying that about my laundry because you mentioned evening routine. So I will often fold a load of laundry in the evening and then take it right upstairs. And for me, it works really well to put wash away as I'm simultaneously getting ready for bed. Like, I don't know, like take an article of clothing off, put a stack away, then, you know, like kind of do two things at once, like get ready for bed and put the wash away. And then I don't even go back downstairs then. I take the wash up with me when I'm ready to go to bed. I put the wash away and then I go to bed.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, another thing with streamlining your work is it seems so counterintuitive, but if you take like just a week or two, or even just 2 or 3 times of teaching your kids how to do it, it's so annoying the first couple times teaching them how to do it and they're doing it wrong. And like, you're always, you know, having to, you know, guide them the right way and everything. But after they've got it down, oh my goodness, it is so awesome. You can literally say the sentence, empty out the dishwasher, and that's all you have to do. And sure, like never, and nothing's ever done to mom's specs necessarily, but
even like switch the laundry. Like,
I know my 3-year-old can do that.
I have limited time and I need to keep that cycle going. Like back when I was home all day, if it sat in the washer for 30 minutes, it was fine, you know. Now I'm like, no, it needs to get in the dryer because the next one needs to go in because it needs to be dry so I can fold it so I can go to bed. And just telling Jack, like, go switch the laundry and being fairly confident that he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's just nice. They do put their own wash away. I fold it for them just because I'm folding all the rest anyway. It just doesn't make sense to separate it all out and then give it to them to fold. But they do put their own wash away.
Yeah, but you are robbing your children of life experiences and life skills if at some point you're not teaching them some.
For sure.
Like, and why not younger? The younger the better. And you just have to let go some of your.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, and dishes will break. Things will happen. Like, it's just part of part of it. And you know what? I try not to. I'm actually pretty good at not crying over broken dishes and stuff. I just, I know it's special and I just don't let them touch it. Because when they're when the age of my kids, you just assume it's going to get broken.
Exactly.
You know? So we just use our pretty dishes all the time. And yeah, we're short 2 bowls and 1 plate right now, but we'll figure it out.
Where did you get that dress?
Amazon.
It is so cute. And it reminds me, I used to have a dress. The fabric was similar. The style, like around the middle, was similar. And I wore it to school cleaning the year of my freshman year of high school. We cleaned school before it started. And
oh my word! Yes, that's when Eric met you.
Yes,
oh
and he
word.
remembers and it's long gone now. But
I wonder
he
if he would
remembers
buy
that
it, if he would like recognize it.
I don't know. Even if I like took a picture of the fabric and be like, "What does this remind you of?" I would not be surprised if he would remember.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Yeah, I don't know.
If he does, I'm gonna.
It's
get
not
it.
really a Jaina style dress, but
well, the dress was like a hand-me-down. It was old and
so
nasty.
fun.
I never thought it fit me really well, but that was about the most attractive thing about it. It was a cape dress, like, and it was like, an old hand-me-down. I never would have thought that was anything that would make someone fall in love with me, but I don't know. I guess it worked.
And in your Garden of Eden apron, I mean, you're just
it matched. Yeah, I remember I did wear it to Garden of Eden fairly often.
Oh my goodness!
Because the green matched the apron.
That's so funny.
Anyway, that was a tangent.
If you want
bunny
more
trail.
tangents like that, you got to check out our last episode with our husbands. That was so fun.
That was a fun one.
We have to do a part 2, part 3 sometime because there's so many things we didn't talk about, like how we got engaged and like stuff like that. So I thought we would take a little time to talk to moms that want to do this is any project, not just cleaning. Maybe it is painting a specific room. Maybe you have a sewing project you want to do, or house cleaning, gardening, planting, landscaping, anything that's like a bigger project that's out of the norm. I wanted to talk to moms of little kids and how can we make that happen, because children are just underfoot. Sometimes it's not safe. Like it's a lot to coordinate sometimes. First of all, I think that I've had a lot of success with is, okay, you want to, let's use house cleaning your bedroom for an instance. Well, don't save everything for the day of the big house cleaning. Make a list, or maybe for me, things just find their way onto my list because they'll annoy me, and then it'll be like a random Tuesday in June, and I'll write it down and put it on the list. And there it is for when I have 15 minutes of time. Maybe it's the silverware drawer, the pantry, the coat closet, the shoe bin, the Lazy Susan, my wallet, the vehicle, the emergency kit, dog supplies, craft table, junk drawer, your makeup bag, the jar shelves, your sock drawer, very tiny little things that would take like 10, 15 minutes to do, but you just have to do them. Put them on a list, and sometime you'll be, oh, I have 15 minutes till the washer's done or whatever. I'm going to pick something off my list. But I've had great success with just working on small things. So in my bedroom, instead of waiting till cleaning day to de-pill the headboard or organize my sock drawer or something like that, I might have all those things done before the actual cleaning day where I need to move the bed, roll up the rug, do all those things,
Yeah.
So try to take out as much of the big project as you can ahead of time, but then also use your husband the night before. Get him to help you move furniture ahead of time if you need to. Think through all the steps that are going to be required. I would get every single thing out that you're going to need for your project. Like, let's say you're going to be painting a room or something. Make sure you have all the rulers, all the stuff ready to go. Here's my paint bucket. Maybe even have the screwdriver thing to open it. Have everything there and ready to go. That way, when your baby goes down for their nap, you are off to the races and running and ready to go, and you can get that room painted in the hour and a half you have of nap time or whatever. Just think through each step and lay your eyes on every item that you're going to need, whether that's just a mop and a bucket or, I always think I have cleaner and then I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There is something too with a mental preparation. Like maybe you have a day off work or the kids are going to be at grandma a certain day. And if you write it down, this is what I'm going to do that day. I find that oftentimes I actually do it before then. There's something about you start thinking about it and you're like, well, now I just really want to do it.
Yeah.
And it gets crossed off your list sooner than you might even think. But there is something to the whole mental preparation. Start thinking about it. Think your way through the process. What are you going to do first? And then what are you going to do? And then what is it going to look like when it's done? Or how are you going to feel when it's done? Just walk yourself through the whole process.
Yeah. Coordinate it. It really is like a choreographed thing. Okay, what happens first or second? And it might sound like you're overthinking it, but it can't be stressed enough that it will help out a lot if you do run those things through your head. Also, I like to do all of the mandatory housework that I can. I like to double that up on the day before. So maybe I'll do 2 loads of laundry the day before so I don't have to do any of the laundry that next day when I'm doing my project. Maybe I do this often. I'll make sure I have I'll cook a big supper the day before so we can have the leftovers for lunch the next day. I don't have to stop in the middle of my project to do any cooking. We have it ready to go right there. You can even I've packed lunches several days in advance and stuff like that when I know I'm not going to have time. It's going to be a rushed morning. These tips work great too if you need to get out of the house for a big day or something. Drop your kids off at the babysitter before you go off to your ladies' day or something. Just try to double up on your mandatory housework.
Or just get used to ignoring things. Block out the mess in the living room when you're working in the kitchen. It's okay, it'll still be there tomorrow. And just focus on what you're doing rather than getting sidetracked by the other things. But don't forget to feed yourself. I was painting my living room one day and I hate painting. And I was just in the zone. I had to get this done by dinner time apparently. And I think I worked solidly almost all day without stopping. I was shaking. I was sweating because I was so frantic and anxious about getting this painting done. Oh. And if I would have just stopped and taken a break, it probably would have been okay. But I hated it so much, I just had to get it done, and probably made it so much worse for myself in the process. If I would have played an interesting podcast or some nice soothing music and eaten some mixed nuts or something.
Wait, you painted straight in silence all day long like a barbarian.
I don't remember that I was listening to anything.
Well, I have to set it up. I gotta get my podcast rolling. I gotta have my water bottle there.
That was one of those projects where I had the paint. I had gotten it, and then Jack got sick, so he was homesick. I was like, well, I'm home for a day. I'm gonna not waste it. So I just started tearing into it, and I don't think I thought through it the whole way, or I didn't pace myself. I didn't say, okay, well, maybe if I get these 2 walls done, I can stop, take a break, and it always takes so much longer than you think it's going to. And again, I didn't think through the project. I just dove right in.
It's a big room. It really is.
It
big
is.
Space.
It was.
Wow. Yeah, I have friends that do that. Must not be how my brain works. I don't know. Maybe it's the list person in me, but I've had friends that would be I didn't think about it. I just started and I had the wallpaper ripped halfway off, and then I realized, well, I don't have any other wallpaper to put it back up, or what am I doing? Or Josh's sister, or my sister-in-law, she was started ripping up carpet. And then she's like, what am I doing? I don't have any, that's just not quite how my brain works.
I'm not sure I'd go to that extreme. But, I knew that I had planned this project. I had the paint. I knew I wanted to do it. I just didn't estimate properly how long it was going to take.
Also, if you have little kids, another step you can do is prepare a special toy or a pastime that your kids can do while you're working. I'm speaking from a mom of I had 3 little children at home all at the same time, 0, 2, and 4, then 1, 3, and 5. And then by the time the oldest went to school, then it was a different set of 3 kids. So I'm used to having 3 kids at home often. But yeah, just maybe getting out the kinetic sand or letting them play with Play-Doh. Just being okay with the mess, like you said, that's happening. Like, understand. If you would like to see a visual of this, I am putting, I think it would be this past week, I put out a sewing day in my life video, and I show you how my house looked at the end of my sewing day. So you have to go check that out over on Megan Fox Unlocked on YouTube. But yeah, you just have to be okay with kids making a mess, but if you can prevent them from going from thing to thing to thing, that's always helpful. So, maybe it's even just like a new kids playlist on Spotify or something that you can have ready to go, or YouTube music is what I use. And then think about it. Is there any way that your kids can actually help? I always think of El Manzo in the Farmer Boy book, how they would put the rugs out back and they'd all just like beat the rugs and get all the dust out. Like that was the kids' job to do. My kids aren't going to be beating my rugs really, but kids love a hose. They will dig in the dirt and stuff if you're doing landscaping, things like that. And also consider baby containment, because safety is the most important. And you can take a pack and play pretty much anywhere. I don't know if I'd put a baby in a fumey, painty room. Maybe then you want to give it a babysitter. But other than that, yeah, put the kid in pack and play. And like that's how I used to mow my yard. Put my baby in the pack and play, and I could see her.
Or strap him in the stroller.
Yeah. Anyway, which I did bring up babysitting. You should not have to get a babysitter every time you want to do a project. Like, let your kids see you working. It's not as relaxing, that's for sure, but getting a babysitter every time you have a project of some kind is just not very feasible.
Right.
And when you're getting a babysitter, you should be doing something fun. That's what I think.
Agreed.
So I'll leave it at that. Anything else we did not hit today?
Oh, do you clean out your dishwasher regularly?
You mean clean the machine itself or empty the dish rack?
Like clean it, like in the grooves, the sides, it gets all nasty in there. Or like pull out the filter and rinse it out.
Yeah, every time it breaks. So every 3 months.
Oh,
it gets
right.
Yeah. That's my dishwasher saga.
My friend was just talking about how she cleaned out her dishwasher and it was like appallingly disgusting. And we're like, you don't do that? Like you don't rinse out the filter? And she's like, nope, I haven't ever. So just a reminder, maybe like rinse the filter in your dishwasher. But that is one thing, like one little thing that you can do. That's a huge accomplishment. Like, but it's all contained into one little area.
Yeah.
You're not tearing apart your kitchen. You're just cleaning one little thing. Or your oven. Ovens get so nasty.
Appliance maintenance is its whole own thing. It's crazy. Like, the espresso machine needs to be descaled.
Oh, my
and
word.
you have to wash your washer, like your washing
Yeah,
machine.
you're supposed to do the clean wash cycle or whatever it is.
And every new thing you allow in does take some maintenance. Like I have a Roborock. It's so nice. I push the button and it goes, whatever. So nice. But yeah, once in a while, something's all tore up in there. I am sitting on the floor with my scissors and cutting hairs out of stuff. And
and my vacuum, my regular stick vacuum. Last night, of all things, I was like, oh, this thing is just not working anymore. And I started I emptied out the dustbin. I'm like, you know what? I think I can change this filter. Duh, of course I can. I pulled it out and the dust just billowed out. Like it was nasty. I put a new filter in, I rinsed it all out, and I was like, yeah, this is how this thing is supposed to work.
Oh, if you want to talk about stick vacuums, this is not a story that I made up. This is absolutely true. I bought this awesome Voetberg stick vacuum. Love it. It was cute. It worked great. Had it for 29 days. And my child dropped it and broke the little clips, because I let my kids use it. It's so lightweight. It's so nice. Anyway, the clip on it broke off so that the dustbin won't clip shut.
Oh,
I would have to somehow get a rubber band or something to hold it shut. I don't know. I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, thank goodness. I'm going to just return it or replace it, whatever. We'll see it was through Amazon. But, and guess what? It was not 29 days. It was 31
days.
31 days. And so it had just run out. And so they're like, well, I got on with customer service, who was amazing. I actually told them, I said, I would love to work with you because all of your stuff is pretty awesome. I know this didn't break just because of my kid. I love Voetberg's. We have 3 different other humidifiers and stuff. But anyway, now I'm in line for a replacement part that's going to take a month to get. I guess they have a shipment coming of them or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm so sad. If you do not own a stick vacuum, you have no idea what you're missing. And if you have a stick vacuum that's broken, you know what you're missing.
It honestly changed my life the day I got one.
How did our mothers do it?
I don't know.
With that awful hose behind them. And yeah, oh my goodness. So anyway, I hope you guys feel motivated to tackle a project on your list, whether that's cleaning or something else. We would love to know, specifically, what is a project that you have that's like burning under your skin?
That you know you're going to do one of these days. It's just which day will it be?
Yes, exactly. Maybe you want to replay the podcast then, or find a different one. Go listen to the one that we talked about, love stories from the vault. That was pretty fun to listen to.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think you guys will enjoy that. It'll help you pass the time a little more quickly.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks so much for being here.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.